Deji the Tank, he finally gets it done in dramatic fashion. Probably the most heartwarming victory we've seen in influencer or YouTuber boxing. And he did some things in this fight that were pretty impressive from a technical aspect. Sure, he didn't look the most polished in every aspect of the fight, but some of the ways he set up the finish and how he corralled Fousey around the ring, controlled the fight from start to finish. Tons of things he did were very, very impressive, even if FouseyTube looks stiff as cardboard. That's not meant to be just disrespect. My man lost a ton of weight, got in great shape, but you know, he was kind of taking all the steroids in the world. I mean, this isn't natural, but you know what? It's all respect to Fousey. It's all respect to Deji, and today I'm going to tell you guys how Deji got this one done. Let's go. So there were a couple major things that I would really like to point out in this very first opening round. Right away, we see the way Deji comes out. We're going to actually go back and relook at this. So watch how Deji comes out, the way he gallops forward. This is just a slight thing, but Fousey comes out all stiff, right? He's very stiff. Deji comes out just galloping out, showing he's very comfortable in the ring. Fousey already stiff, focusing on the footwork. Deji, hey, I know how to do the footwork. I'm chilling. So that's one thing that I just like to see from Deji, but it wasn't anything like crazy or big. But Deji comes out, right away he feints this right hand as Fousey pops out this jab. It's a subtle feint, just a slight turnover and level change, but he comes right back up. Fousey sees it, recognizes it, backs up a little bit, and then from there, we see Deji come in with this step-in jab, misses pretty badly, and Fousey, this is the best thing Fousey did from the upper body standpoint, right? But I'm going to show you why this was bad. Fousey jabs out, and he needs to angle off and pivot with this lead foot. He needs to pivot with this foot. However, he can't because Deji, the veteran southpaw, knows how to control the footwork and is controlling the outside leg of Fousey, preventing Fousey from angling out this way and making it harder for him to angle off. Now, this forces Fousey back, obviously, and I'm not going to focus on this anymore, but Deji did do this a couple more times, and the big reason this matters is it prevents Fousey from going outside and kind of corralling Deji in this way, which will open him up to walk in to Fousey's power shots. So now Fousey has to move this way. This is what Deji wants as he's the southpaw. But in fairness to Fousey, he does make a good decision here to kind of just stay here. But then Deji blitzes in with this right hook and fires this left straight. Boom. Lands square on the chin, and definitely made Fousey a little bit more aware of Deji's power. And the reason this is important, and this happens a couple more times in this round, Deji is loading up on his right hook and throwing it to start every single combination rather than the jab. So he's conditioning Fousey to be expecting this right hook. See how he feints this straight left, and then he fires this right hook. Now this right hook, if it lands, it's going to push Fousey this way into his left straight, making it more powerful. However, Fousey's able to come up, but he still gets rocked by it, boomed back into the ropes. This was a pretty big moment for Deji, just the way he started this round. This is one of probably just a couple moments in this first round, though, that had any sort of significance towards. Now, this is just right after that exchange. I love what Deji does here. He had Fousey backed up, but he stays patient, just looking to parry his jab, doing nothing really. And this forces Fousey to just go to the outside of him and gets Fousey moving this way, which is going to push him into this right straight. But that's not what Deji's looking for here. Watch what he does here, just with the feints. Constant feints, but watch this. This is the best. This is a great feint. Feints, slight, looking to parry a jab. And then ready? Low level change. Perfect. He could fire this. Fousey recognizes it, so he sees, hey, this is where Deji will be if this left straight's going to be there, so this is going to drop the hands of Fousey later on without Deji even having to throw anything. Fousey recognizes that, and now Deji has some more respect of Fousey because he can change levels so fast and go straight to the body and back up, and that's something that Fousey recognizes. And then right here, once again, Deji starts the exchange off with the right hook, comes across with the left, and then once again, right, left. This was just the story of this fight, and the big reason I want to highlight this right hook to the left straight is A, it sets up the shot that hurts Fousey, but also it sets up the jab that drops Fousey. So it sets up it sets up the shot that forces the corner to throw in the towel, and it sets up the shot that forces Fousey to hit the mat. Now, the reason I say this, you're probably thinking, no, Deji dropped Fousey with the jab. Well, you're going to see in a second, but the reason this right hook coming around the side is a problem is because, or is a problem for Fousey, and coupled with the level changes, it really sets up that jab, because Fousey, every time Deji has any lead hand movement, any lead hand activity, to start off a combination, he's expecting a right hook, a looping right hook coming around the side. Now, Deji was doing a decent job of firing out some parries and jabbing to the body, but all Deji was doing to the head with the right hand was throwing right hooks for the majority of this round. We'll just take a look at it one more time. He's feinting low with the jab, and then there's that right hook, and then the left straight. This is the final moment from the opening round that I want you to take a look at from Deji. This just shows the awareness that he has inside the clinch. It's not anything crazy special, but just watch this grappling exchange between these two. So, Deji instantly fires for one underhook on this side, but I can't really see. But since he's missing with this left hook, he recognizes it and drags this hand back across the head. And right here, he's got two hands weighing down on Fousey's head. Now, this is really good because he's weighing down on Fousey's body. In Muay Thai kickboxing, this is called the Thai plum, or an MMA. And really what he's doing here is just, from this angle, it looks like at least, he's just weighing down with both hands down on Fousey's head to just drag him down and really demoralize him. Really, it's a simple thing, but it's something that I would like to highlight. It shows that Deji's gotten a lot stronger in the clinch. Now, as we enter the second round, this is the moment in the fight that I think is where Deji realizes that he can't actually find the jab and hurt FouseyTube with the jab, or Yusuf, sorry, with the jab. So we see him here come out with this right hook. Since Fousey throws it at the same time, it's almost kind of partially parried. And then he fires this left straight. Fousey looping. Man, that glove looks like, I don't even know. But then here, Deji pulls out of the exchange and just a jab touches him on the nose. But you know what he realizes? I can touch this guy with my jab because look at his hands. He didn't even try and parry it. There was no high guard or anything. He's realized all Fousey's thinking about here is this right hook coming around. And we're going to see how that pays dividends for him in just a second. I do think something from the Daily in the corner probably had something to do with this, I hope. At least I'm assuming, because that guy is pretty knowledgeable when it comes to boxing and was likely telling Deji to utilize the jab to the head a bit more as it was starting to be set up. Right here is just one of the final moments from the second round, besides the big knockdown that we need to look at and I need to show to you, because this is how Deji gets the finishing blow-in, the shot that really wobbles Fousey and gets the corner to throw in the towel. This is what sets it up, because Deji sees what he could do with the position. So, from out of range, Fousey fires this jab. Deji's been floating out of range all fight. The way he just steps back and throws this right hook, and then out, pulls right out, and then from here, look, Fousey's so exposed, and Deji, he knows, hey, I can pull counter here. He's not going to pull counter here because Fousey didn't overextend enough, or didn't extend enough, and he was just bouncing out of range. It wouldn't be a true pull counter, but Deji recognizes this and realizes, hey, I can fire this left straight and really, really cause some damage to Yusuf. So, this is how this finish gets set up for Deji. Now, right away from Deji here, would not like to see this, but that's not what we're here to break down. We're not here to take any glory from him. So, Deji just backs up and is throwing no offense and looks completely nonchalant, almost like he's ran out of gas. And there's so many things that really do contribute to this, but Fousey all of a sudden, no real footwork, is just kind of walking forward in this sideways stance. Like, it's not, like, look at that. He's just walking forward. Deji doing this little bounce around, almost like maybe he's gassed, something's wrong. And since Deji has been dealing with, or Deji has allowed Fousey to come forward this entire round, and when Fousey's come forward, all he's done is counter with a right hook. So, all Fousey needs to worry about is this side, right? And guarding this side of his head, not the front. But since there's nothing being offered from Deji, I mean, Deji's almost square here too. Fousey's thinking, hey, this guy poses no danger to me right now. I'm going to fire a combination. And I guarantee you guys, Fousey is thinking what shots he's going to throw here, which you never want to do. But then Deji takes one step back, plants, Fousey, boom. Right, straight, right on the jaw. Let's take a look at it again, though. This jab was nice. It was a power jab. So Deji takes a step back and explodes off this back foot. Fousey brings this hand here like he's going to be guarding for a right hook, and big, massive opening on the chin, and boom, goes down. No follow-up necessary for Deji, and Fousey does get up pretty quick. Now, as we head into the third round, the final round of this fight, due to a stoppage, One thing that I just like to highlight right away before the round even starts is something that speaks to the mentality change of Deji. Look at him. Standing in the center of the ring, ready to go. The old Deji, I believe he would be, still in the corner, kind of timid, not confident at all to even walk forward. Fousey's still on the stool. Referee has to even step in and stop it. That's just a nice mentality change that I kind of liked to see and wanted to show to you. That just kind of speaks to what Deji has been evolving to and how the mentality has changed. So now right here, this is where Deji gets the standing 8, and this is what contributes to the finish. So we see this right hook that he starts leaping with, and this leaping he brings around to this other side of Fousey, which moves Fousey in this way, moving him into the power hand of Deji. And look, right there, he moves into it. Only thing from Deji, I just like to see a tiny bit more defensive responsibility from him. But when you got a guy that's a walking punching bag in front of you, you don't need to. And it's just me being nitpicky, really. But that just stumbles him. And then here, once again, just watch it. So he fires this jab. Fousey, massive opening with this left hook. This left hook's out of the ring, man. I didn't even notice that. That's something you never want to see. Yeah. But that leaves so much time for Deji to read this, pull out, like he's going to pull counter and just kind of look at his work. Late pull counter almost, because it's a pull counter like I was talking about earlier, but he just kind of watches his work. He looks at his work. He sees Fousey hurt. He sees he's got a broken man in front of him. Watch it. Pulls out. Waits. He's covered up, but the guard is so sloppy from Fousey. And, I'd like to see it a bit more closed up, really, even in these exchanges, because he's not quick enough to even just move his hands just barely together. That's how you're supposed to utilize this type of high guard. Just barely move these wrists together, and you'll block the straights. And you need to barely move it a little bit to answer the phone call, answer the phone to block hooks. But Fousey can't do that quick enough. Eats his left hook, brings him back, another one, and that hurts him very badly. We see the reaction to KSI. And that's how Deji gets that standing 8. So then right off the break, this is the finishing sequence for Deji. Man, it still gets me happy every time I just say that. But Deji comes forward, and already Fousey's corner, I think they're starting to think, yeah, he might be broke. Like we might have a broken guy. But Deji comes forward, fires this jab that Fousey throws a jab at the same time. That deflects Deji's jab up. But then, watch this. Fast right hook, man. That landed on the temple of, right on the temple of Fousey, on this other side, obviously, and just snaps the head back. But he does fire back, and he kind of lands. Deji goes to clinch, but just slides out of range. So smooth, so much faster than Fousey. He's seeing everything. The vision of Deji is very, very good. He might have the best just vision in all of YouTuber boxing, and it's something to really look at. That's a very important part of fighting, being able to just see shots. Obviously, that sounds obvious, but it's hard in the moment, man, for a lot of people, and especially when you're newer to it. But there's this other just leaping right hook that he uses to kind of angle, almost like a check right hook if he doesn't fire this, but he does fire this left. And he hurts Fousey so bad that Fousey's just moving off this side and gets out of the way of this one. And Fousey just, the way he turns, the way he moves, yeah, he just looks bad. And he sees it, and there's not really a complaint from Fousey. So that is how Deji Olatunji gets it done in spectacular fashion, finally gets a victory